That brings us to our next point.
Lack of compromise. And even me, I'm guilty of that nowadays, like lack of compromise. Like I hate compromise. Well, if it doesn't favor me, I hate compromise. So it's like,
I'm not even mad at that. You know why? Because I would never give up my man's dad. That's hope for that.
So it like me, for instance, I'm more of a homebody or whatever. So if it comes to going to clubs, this, that, and the third, like I'm not really off that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's times where I'll do it, but if it's something that you expecting me to do, I'm not into it. And with majority of guys, like we don't like being told what to do. And like women are more, I guess women I assume is more active as far as like clubbing, partying, wanting to go out to eat, all of that stuff.
You got a point.
Yeah, women tend to want to do those things, and dudes more so want to chill. I'm watching the game. Let me relax. I just came home from work. Let me put my feet up. I want to relax. I've been busting my ass all day, stuff like that.
But women don't compromise sometimes too. They don't. They could be like, for prime example, you could be like, let's go out to eat, and you'd be like, well, I don't really want to go out today. Can we just cook something? You could be like, I'll make dinner, and she'd still be like, no, I want some steak and lobster. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. She got mind set.
Her mind. Yeah. When a woman's mindset is set, you're not winning that fight. It's no compromising that.
Cause like with guys, like I will say this: if a guy know a woman really wants to do something and he's really not feeling it, and he says no, he'll go back and think like, you know what, she really want to do it, so let me do it.
Exactly.
All right, babe, you know what, let's go. So that I could agree with. I could agree with.
Y'all think about peer pressure? Nah, peer pressure comes from women when they really want to do something. Like if a woman says, let's go on vacation to the Bahamas, you're not telling her no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you're not.
That's true. I can't front on that. And the last subject is family and upbringing.
Oh man, that's deep.
Yeah,
that's
which
deep.
Also falls in lines with communication. But a lot of times though, with family and upbringing, people don't really want to hear that because it's like, matter of fact, prime example, whatever. I'm not saying no names, but situation where
Jake, you know who you are.
Jake from State Farm. But one of my boys, whatever. The woman he was with, like she had she came from a relationship that was like very abusive verbally. Mm-hmm. So the person he was dealing with, he's very like, argumentative and everything like that. So every time like they have a discussion or something and like he raised his voice or whatever, it's like she feel like she's being attacked.
Brings back memories.
Yeah, it brings back memories or whatever, So it's two sides of the coin, because the one side is saying, yo, we've been together for this long, so you should know when I speak to you, like when I raise my voice, I'm not coming at you like that. And then the other side, instead of like, trying to compromise and say, hey, I know this individual isn't gonna, isn't verbally abusing me. It's just, well, you know how I am, you know my history, so you should accept it.
Yeah, and a lot of females make that mistake. You have to understand that regardless, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have went through some tough upbringing, probably lost a sibling, probably lost a mother or father, probably, orphans, and I respect your hustle. I respect how you made it come up, you know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, you have to realize that you're dealing with a whole other human being. And women, I respect when y'all talk about your family hurt. I respect it because you letting me know that, listen, this is what I've been through, and I'm not trying to be like how I was before in the same situation. And you know, for women, I think that's something that makes them feel more secure, to know that their man or the person they're with is not going to treat them as how they were treated back in their past.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and once again, that refers to the man's side, whose job it is to, you know, respect that and try to compromise as well. You know, and also a woman has to compromise at some point to be like, okay, you know what, we've been together for X amount of time, and you know, it's time for us to like really sit down and, you know, get me over this hurdle. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another point too. Like with family, another way family and upbringing could play a role too is like say for instance for me, I grew up in a household where amongst me and my siblings, we didn't really ask questions as far as like if if you're going through something. It was more so when you ready to come present it to us, then we'll give our 2 cents. But if you don't speak about it, then I guess you got it under control. So you revert that now to, I'm 40 years old, so you revert that now 20, 30 years down the line, when you're in a relationship, whatever, and your lady's going through something, and you're not the type to really ask questions and stuff because of your upbringing, then it's looked upon as, oh, well, you don't care. And that's not necessarily the case. It's just, that's how some individuals was brought up. And it could be for women too. They grew up in a household like that where they don't really ask questions, but women more so speak and communicate about things. So I know it's very rare that a woman would be that way, so to speak. But yeah, like if that was something she grew up when her lifestyle, whatever, where it was when people, having issues, they'll present it to you when they're ready, and not to like, kind of like badger or pester them to get it out of them. Then, that's how the person function.
Yeah,
so it's a communication thing.
Yeah, and at the same time as well, we're talking about family and upbringings. Being formerly married also leaves a scar on women, and most men, y'all don't, we don't sit here and realize like, okay, her ex-husband treated her like garbage. You know what I'm saying? And then here you come in, you're a good guy and all, but you still have a manner of trying to assert yourself, assert your dominance. And most females that have been with a man that they're formerly divorced from, they don't want that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want somebody that's gonna be there to understand them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's more so the fault of the man. And as a woman, when you've been hurt from a previous relationship, particularly a marriage or a divorce, you know what I'm saying? Your mindset is, okay, the next time I find somebody, that's got to be it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, women will go date a guy, and that guy will try his best to be there for them and stuff. And a lot of times, it runs in their mind, okay, what's wrong with him? You know what I'm saying? Because of the hurt they've been through, and then they start to question stuff. They start to, find little things to be nitpicking about just to see. And what that leads to is the guy, you know what I'm saying, tries to assert his dominance. And by the guy trying to assert his dominance, it's bringing back bad memories for her. And what that leads to is her being like, you know what, I'm good. Let's go our separate ways. And then later down the line, she's going to realize that her self-sabotage also led to her losing a good guy. And the same vice versa. The guy's going to sit there, he's going to be like, you know what, I could have handled this situation different.
That's true. Here's my conclusion on the matter. For women, like how you just said, women seem to make checklists, like they live by like a checklist code.
Exactly.
So if the man don't meet your criteria of your checklist, then right there, like you already have negative thoughts in your mind, whatever, towards that relationship where you're like, yo, I'm not giving it all my all, so to speak. And if they do meet the checklist, then it's something got to be wrong with him. He had to do something. So it's like, it's like a no-win situation. Guys too, we always think like, yo, we can't trust her. She probably doing something on the side, because the way the way men think about women is like, women move sneaky. Where, matter of fact, that's why when men go out on dates with women, pretty much they trying to smash by the end of the night if they put money up, because the way a guy thinks is, chicks got a dude to take them out, a dude that'll take them out to eat, a dude that'll go shopping with, like different dudes for different criterias, and then they got the one dude they smash, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So a guy's mentality is, yo, I'm not gonna be the dude that you're gonna have your fun on and spend the bread on, and then you go home and you got Joe Schmo getting in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way a guy thinks on the matter or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you gotta have communication, number one, and number two, you gotta be willing to leave yourself vulnerable. Because if you don't leave yourself vulnerable and you thinking, yo, he might try and play me, so I'm not gonna give my all, I'm gonna wait and see what he do, or I'm gonna wait and see what she do, then it's tick for tack. You either in 100% or you not.
And also understanding from the female perspective in conclusion, a lot of females, they think the same way as well. They'd be like, oh, well, he probably got a girl on the side, he probably got another girl to do this, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for the females, y'all have to learn to respect the man that's trying to court you. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to get to know him, get to really know him. And then also revert into how guys, I know how us guys are, you know what I'm saying? We're always thinking like, okay, she probably got like 6 other dudes in her phone, you know what I'm saying? So, and because of that mentality, we tend not to go all out for a woman unless we think that woman is worth our time. And then, females, y'all have certain things or certain things that you actually do. Actually, I'll give you an example. For example, having a conversation, flirtatious conversation, to be more specific. And that's a way of communication to the guy as well, but it's also giving him signals that, okay, I'm interested in you, whatever, or this could lead further than what it is for the night. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So at a certain point in time, the guy is thinking like, okay, so she's flirting with me heavy, she likes me, but should I give up, all the other females I'm talking to for her? Is she worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times females think, oh, I look good. I look good. I don't have to prove anything to the guy. And that's where your perspective is wrong. Okay? That's where your perspective is wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why your perspective is wrong. For every one man that exists in the world, there's 10 females to a man. Okay? There are 9 other females out there that will show love, compassion, and compromise for a good man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
I don't want to cut you off, but it's always easier for a man to find a good woman than a woman to find a good man.
That is 100% true.
So basically, if you're sitting up there playing the games with that good man, it's not hard for that good man to go and leave you and find a
exactly.
good woman.
Especially if you as a female, you sit and you talk about commitment, and then you end up wasting that man's time. Especially when his time is very precious. Because there are a lot of single fathers out there. Shout out to the single fathers. Woohoo! But yeah, especially when you waste that man's time and his efforts, and then you just play him out. What you do is you hurt him. You hurt him. Now the next female that he goes looking for, he's not gonna give her 100%. He's gonna put her on the back burner, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. This is how we think. It's gonna be the girl I'm talking to, the girl that I may talk to if this one messes up, and then the girl that I might talk to if she messes up. You know what I'm saying? So now you put him going through a list. Same way that you guys have a list. So at the end of the day, though, it's really, truly up to the individual to actually get over the self-hurt, the self-sabotage. You know what I'm saying? And talking from a person who has been there in that perspective, who's been in that place, there are a lot of things that will mess with you, especially if you try to give your all to somebody.
Oh yeah.
And then to just be shelved or to be just played with and then put to the side.
Especially for no reason at all.
For no reason at all. Exactly what I'm saying. But it's a learning lesson, and then also it's an empowerment. And I'm gonna tell you why it's an empowerment. And this goes for females and men. It's an empowerment. Because anytime you get shelved, dumped, or whatever, God always sets it up. So if someone can't open the door for you that's there currently in your life, that person gets removed and they put someone else that can open that door for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't agree more.
So always walk with God, trust in Him, and then trust in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And the next person you try to date or be with, try not to bring the hurt into the relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
You might be hurting. Empty your cup. Empty your cup. Because the moment you bring the hurt, you start self-sabotage. You start going through the motions. You start having lack of compassion. You start having relapses of what you've been through. And that's not something you want to do. You can't build a foundation on an uneven hill. Mm-hmm. It has to be evened out. And that's my conclusion on this subject.
That's why your past relationships, you must learn from them, but don't bring it into the next. Keep an open mind as far as your next. Use it as basically a learning tool. So okay, I know not to fall down that pit trap again. Exactly. It doesn't mean set barriers. Keep an open mind.
Right. So exactly like referring to what you just said.
Yeah.
If you see the situation going down the same road as the previous situation, pause for a minute. Question it. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But don't automatically assume. Right? Don't automatically assume. And when I mean automatically assume, don't assume that somebody's doing the worst.
Exactly. Because you could have the same title of a book, but a different author.
Exactly.
So don't just take it as it is. You
gotta go with the flow, go with the vibe, and then if the vibe feels still off to you, it's your turn to walk away. Have a discussion.
My best word of advice, man or woman, is if you see that person as the person you definitely see yourself with, then go all out. Don't hold back until the person give you a valid reason not to.
Exactly.
That's the best I could say about the situation.